Well, it's start of day 99. Wow, sounds like the big number. I'm getting ready here to leave the shelter. It's 9:15. I was ready to go earlier, but had good cell coverage here and called and talked with Mrs. Grayson. We prayed together. That's always a good way of connecting with each other. And so we spent some time just processing. So getting a little later start, but I was doing the important things. So today's options are 9 miles to a shelter, which would give me like 3 miles to town the next day to resupply, or to go all the way 12 and a half miles to town and maybe get a motel, or they have a park there that hikers can stay in, and do a resupply tomorrow. I need to resupply. I've got a little extra food, but I need to kind of do some planning now. I haven't planned too much. I've been fighting a good fight just getting down the trail. So today's weather is supposed to be cool in the 70s and sunny, which is nice. I've looked. I have a fair amount of elevation didn't gain today. That can come in a lot of forms. I'm not sure what they're coming in today. I know I have a climb here first thing, and so I'm going to get her on down the road and get started. Just see how the day unfolds. Yesterday, the scenery was really beautiful, and maybe that will continue today. Hopefully the trail is good. I've been told by people that that the northern part of the New York Trail is nicer than the southern part, and that's held so far. The trail's been pretty good. So I will see you on down the road. This session of Huffing and Puffing is brought to you by the state of New York. Actually, I'm up my first climb. It was not bad. It was very gradual. The trail to start the day here is marvelous. It is cruisy. What else can I say? We're just walking kind of on this nice dirt path, and it's great. So I've been hiking about 45 minutes, and I'm just going to keep pressing her down the trail. The things that happen to you on the trail. Before I got on trail again, I bought a new pair of socks because the elastic on my one other pair is starting to go a little bit, and I thought they were getting a little thinner, and I wanted the extra cushion on my feet. Well, I don't know if it was the first day or the second day in the evening, I found a big hole in the sock. I evidently had scraped against a sharp rock, and it had sliced a kind of a jagged hole in it. So not last night, but the night before, maybe it was actually yesterday morning, I took time and got out my needle and thread and kind of sewed up the hole. I've had to use my needle and thread on numbers of occasions for just, not for big jobs, but for just little things you wouldn't have expected. I had a little place on my pack that some stitching came loose. It was just on where a buckle was, and the buckle about fell off, which would have been, it was on my sternum strap. That would have been kind of a big deal. But I caught it before it happened, and then I was able to stitch it back up. That was somewhere in Virginia, and that's been okay. I've done the sock. I'm trying to think what else. I had a buckle on my pack that wanted to flip in the wrong orientation, and called the company, and they said, yeah, well, they would take care of it under warranty, but I had to ship the pack back to them. It'd be at least 2 weeks, and I just couldn't afford the time, so I came up with a little farmer engineering, and there was just a little too much gap in the webbing where the buckle was attached, and I let it tilt. So I got a piece of weed eater string, stuffed it through that place so it filled the hole up, and it has been doing what it's supposed to do for the last 3 days without any problem, which is the first time in probably a couple of months where I don't get done at the end of the day and find that buckle flipped. So, whoa. So anyway, the things you encounter on the trail. Yeah, I talked about easy trail, and then we get a rocky section, but we're gonna say this is an anomaly. I looked at the map today a little bit, not a lot, but some, and it said that to the shelter, which would be my first possible destination, 1,600 feet of elevation gain, and I've been having some elevation gain. Well, looks like I'm going to have some more. Let the fun begin here. I need to put the camera away. To navigate up these rocks, I need all my hands and my sticks. We have a view. Looking out across New York. If you've been watching for a while, since the beginning, you know that I featured an oak tree called the Kiefer Oak down near Pearisburg, Virginia, that at one point was thought to be the largest tree in diameter on the trail, and that somebody had actually measured and found another tree in New York that maybe was bigger. I'm wondering if this isn't it. This is a huge white oak tree, and so it's sitting here right by the trail. There's no marker or placard or anything that says it's the largest tree, but it is humongous. So the things you see hiking the Appalachian Trail. Also, if you spin over here, starting to see some white birch trees. It's something we don't have around home. Not so much. I guess some people plant them, but they aren't natively growing, at least a lot of places. I guess if you go, there might be some in West Virginia, but generally you don't see a lot of white birches, and starting to see them. And so things are changing. Today's trail is pretty nice. I've had 2 climbs, but the climbs were not, they were like 700 feet, and yes, they were work, and they had a few little rocky parts, but not, it wasn't like walking up a rock slide, which some of the climbs have been. So I'm going to say that, and then the trail's going to turn gnarly. But anyway, so far today I've put in 5.6 miles. I'm going at least 9, which would be 3.4 more. 2 hours probably. I'm really feeling ambitious. I could take it on to 12 and reach my resupply town. In a way, I'd like to do that, but I'm a little bit afraid to push it that hard. So we'll just see what happens here. Either way, I need to resupply, whether I go into town and do it tonight. I'd have to figure out a place to stay, whether get a motel, or I think there is a park in Pawling that they let hikers stay. It's just like it's 0.8 of a mile outside of town. Pawling is 4 miles from the trail. It's downhill into Pawling, it's uphill back. I'd rather not walk that whole distance with a pack, especially a pack full from resupply. So right now the plan is to go to the shelter tonight, make some future plans. I need to jot some notes and get my head on straight. First couple of days here I've just been trying to keep my britches between the ditches going down the trail. It's been a little challenge. It's been tiring from not being on the trail. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a little bit of my conditioning back, or maybe my body's just used to this and says, okay, now I know what to expect. So I'll keep taking you with me up the trail. We'll see what we get to. Today we have a little bit of a road walk. At some point today I need to cross under Interstate 84. I don't know if this is it or not, but we're walking down the road to see where we get. There were a couple people lived right by the trail were selling homemade bread and Gatorade. And so I stopped back there and bought a Gatorade, tanked up a little bit. I could have, there was water just beyond that, but it is what it is. When I went to pay them and I looked in my fanny pack, I couldn't find my wallet or my money, and I was about freaking out because it's my driver's license, my credit card, a couple of other things in there that are pretty important. And the last time I'd used it was at the deli the first day I got on trail. But then there's a pocket on the very back of my fanny pack that you can kind of stuff things in. I don't usually put stuff in there because it doesn't zip closed. I checked that, and there was all I needed. Oh, my ATM card is the other thing that's in there, because every now and then there are certain things that you have to get. You can only get with cash. A lot of times shuttles only work on cash, and so I was terribly relieved when I found my wallet and my cash. The cash, yeah, you worry about that, but it would have been a real loss to lose my IDs and stuff like that and try to get them replaced and sent back here. So it's a reason to have a place for everything and everything in its place. I've kind of done that most of the time, but in this case, I guess I was in a hurry. I stuck it someplace that I don't usually do, and it caused me a little heartburn back there. So we're going to cross under 84 here. I don't know when, but in the next little while, and then I've got probably 3 miles to shelter. I'm at least going to stop near the shelter and regroup and kind of decide what I'm doing. I need to make a plan for resupply, and I need to get some stuff shipped to me down the trail in Connecticut, and I need to let Mrs. Grayson know so she can get stuff around. And so that's the part of the trail I'm maybe not quite as good at. Oh, well, I don't cross under 84, I cross over 84. So here we go. You can hear the noise there. Nope. Yep. Yep, it's 2. This is it. So I'll keep taking you along with me. It's pretty noisy now. You can see what I'm seeing. It's a pretty view out over there. I'm hiking late this evening. I got to the shelter I was going to stay at, and the app said somebody had gotten water there 2 days ago from a well pump. But there were some people at the shelter and said they tried. There was no water. So my choice was to go back 6/10 of a mile over some pretty gnarly territory, or to go forward 3. So I'm going forward 3. I'm not quite there yet. I'm just about there. But I really like evening hiking. So hiking after 5, things cool down. There isn't as much direct sun. The sounds change in the woods. So I guess this is a blessing. This puts me 3 miles farther forward. I need to get to, I was gonna try to resupply at this next road, but I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go another 8 miles where the resupply is a little bit more convenient. So instead of 11-mile day tomorrow, I'll have an 8-mile day tomorrow, which should be more manageable. And maybe give me some time to resupply. There's a deli in town that lets you camp for $5, and they have some resupply stuff. And there's also a garden center with an outdoor shower, and there might even be a laundry at the deli. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna try to get a pretty good start in the morning and cruise in there and see if I can get in there in early afternoon and be really nice if I could resupply before I spend the night and then just hike out the following morning and not burn a day or half a day on resupply. So things work out. I was a little put out when I faced with the choice, but that'll make today it's either 12 or I think it's 12 to the road I was going to go to is 12 and a half. I'm not, hopefully don't have to go quite that far. So anyway, I got to get down there, get some water, get camp set up before it gets dark. I'll see you on down the road. I made it to water at last. Today ended up being a 12-mile day. Was planning on 9, turned out to be 12. I am going to stealth camp here tonight. I feel a little tenuous about this situation. Let me show you. Really, I'm parked between two roads and a railroad track, but I'm just too tired to go on. So it's soon going to be getting dark here, and I don't think anybody's going to give me any trouble. So this is the end of day 99. Day 99 kind of had its ups and downs. I got to the shelter. I said earlier that I was going to camp at, and there was no water. So we've got that. It's been the trail's been really nice today. There's only been a couple of spots that had some gnarly rocks. Tomorrow there's a lake called Nuclear Lake. It's because there used to be a nuclear research facility on the shores of the lake, but it's not operable anymore, and they've tested the water and say it's safe. They recommend you don't drink it or swim in it. So you get to go by that, and I should have about an 8-mile hike from here to get to town for resupply. And so my camp spot will be probably, it's called Anthony's Deli. He allows people to camp in the back of his establishment for $5, and then I hear the deli food is really good. And there's also a garden center that sells hiker supplies. It's a hiker friendly business. So between Anthony's and the garden center has an outdoor shower, cold shower, so I may avail myself of that. I don't have any shampoo, but I got a bar of soap, so I get myself clean. I'm really beginning to stink here after several days of hot weather. The weather's going to be warmer tomorrow. It's going to be in the low 80s instead of upper 70s, but that sure beats 90s. So take it as it comes. I'm hoping to get a little bit of an earlier start tomorrow, just to meet the weather. The lows tonight are going to be, I think, in the low 60s or upper 50s. Perfect. I love that sleeping weather. I slept really good last night. I'm really tired tonight. I imagine I'll sleep really good tonight too. So I'm taking you along with me. You know, God provides, and who knows the reason why the other didn't work out, but there probably was a reason. So we'll just get on with our business and do what we need to do. I got my food in the oven over here, and my little fall bag. It's been in there for 15 minutes. I'm going to give it another 15, and I'm going to take a drink, change some clothes for sleeping, and boy, as soon as it's dark, I'm going to hit the hay. I'm pretty beat. So I was actually, you know, sometimes things have a silver lining. I've been wanting to get a little longer mile a day in. I've just been a little concerned about a few things, and I had to do it, and I live to tell. My feet so far have been doing pretty well. I've been massaging them at night, and they feel better in the morning. By the end of the day, they hurt. They're tired of being abused, but as long as I can get, like today, I got 5-6 good miles before, and then I took a break, took my shoes off, massaged my feet, and then I was good for
I guess it ended up being 4 more miles. So it's working out. The insoles I'm using, I think, are helping. They're helping at least. I had 2 or 3 things that were bothering me, and the one that was the most troublesome isn't bothering me as much. So just tired feet now, and I think letting my feet out of my shoes and letting them get blood flow. I lace my shoes pretty tight. Letting them get blood flow is really good for them. So I'm getting ready here to get my stuff sorted out here. I'm not pitching the tarp tonight because there's not a chance for rain. That makes it easier to tear down in the morning, and so I'll just plop everything under my hammock tonight, put in some earplugs to drown out the road noise, and see if I can't just pop off to sleep and sleep really soundly. I could use another good night's sleep like last night. So um, anyway, kind of exciting. There's some neat things coming up. Talked to another southbound hiker today. Gave me some tips on resupply. Beyond Pawling, New York. Pawling, New York is like one day's hike from New York, Connecticut border. So I got one more, well, let me see, 2 more days in New York, and then it is finished. New York is finished, and I go into Connecticut, new state. I understand everything is expensive in Connecticut. I'm trying to figure out where to ship a resupply box to in Connecticut for some things. I'm going to buy some things and have some things shipped. The meals I made for dehydrated meals, I've ended up using a lot of those in the beginning, and I want to save some of those for when I get up into Maine, and I'm going to have to ship resupply boxes. And so right now my tactic is being I'm having Mrs. Grayson ship me snacks, things like protein bars and stuff. If you get them in a convenience store, I paid $4 for a protein bar, and if you get them at Walmart, they're $1.75 or something like that, and so it pays to ship them here if you get any quantity of those things. Candy bars, some of the things are hard to find, little apple pies. I tell you what, that's the one thing that I kind of look forward to eating. I'm getting tired about everything else, but those little apple pies go down good. And so we're going to try that for a little bit. I'm going to try, I've been trying to, I missed a deli today that wasn't very far away. I should have gone off trail half a mile and eaten at the deli, or packed out a sandwich. But I'll do that. I'll do that when I'm in Pawling. I'll pack out a sandwich, and as part of my resupply, because real food is better than reconstituted food. So I'm taking you along with me. This is wrap up of day 99.